think I might be going crazy.
I hit my head really hard and I woke up in this alternate universe.
And now I have a gay sidekick who's setting gay rights back like 100 years.
I love working the leg.
Isn't It Romantic stars Rebel Wilson, Liam Hemsworth, Adam Devine and Priyanka Chopra. I can't remember. Anyway, basically in Isn't It Romantic, Rebel Wilson, she plays this architect, she gets mugged on the train, hits her head, wakes up in a PG-13 rom-com, and I'm not even exaggerating, that's literally what she describes it in the film and in the trailer.
My life's become a romantic comedy.
Alright, let me put it like this. The only reason I was actually remotely interested in watching this movie was for Rebel Wilson and Liam Hemsworth having Australian accents and being the two leads in a Hollywood film. This movie is not that great. The director, he does these, can't remember what his name is, but his last film I did, I think, was The Final Girls, and I really enjoyed The Final Girls. I thought The Final Girls was great. Basically follows the exact same premise of this, except with slasher horror 80s slasher movies. And of course, you know, there's these teenagers who get pulled into a horror 80s slasher movie. And I think that one was a really genius concept. Seeing it's just, he's done the exact same thing but with a romantic comedy. Because before it was really more of like you know, a cast of like 10 people being an ensemble. And now it's just, you know, Rebel Wilson knowing exactly what's going on and everyone else is just going along being generic romantic comedy characters. And you might notice in this review that I might compare it to The Final Girls a fair bit, mostly because of how similar it is in premise and because they have the same director. Rebel Wilson does a good job. Actually, she is doing a little bit of the same shtick that she was doing in like the Pitch Perfect movies, but she does fine. Liam Hemsworth, I think he was okay. I don't think Liam Hemsworth is that fantastic of an actor, but I think he did good enough in this role. Adam Devine I thought was good. I think he seemed to be a lot more, he was a lot, he was funny. I thought he did a good job. And Priyanka Chopra, yeah, she's, I suppose, about as good here as she was in Baywatch, which I thought she was fine in Baywatch, she's fine here. Anyway, back to, I just want to talk about one real thing about this movie because I want to keep this review short because camera's dying, it's Australian summer, and by Australian summer I mean it's really stinking hot between February and March. Basically, this movie tries to position itself and saying, hey, look at all these tropes from romantic comedy. Isn't that funny how he pointed out? And I feel like at times it can be funny, especially towards the end, but for the most part it's just sort of like, we get it. You want to be a romantic comedy without being a romantic comedy. And watching that, I just think, well, you have this. That's fine. But the way you carry your message out at the end of the movie is undercut literally by the 17 minutes beforehand, because there's never really like an allusion to the message that Rebel Wilson hadn't already learnt from the message. It was more just like, yeah, she had developed a sort of insecurity from her childhood when it comes to romantic comedies, but she did, you know, that never really comes up again in the rest of the movie. It's just a lot of her going like, oh, they wouldn't like me, and they wouldn't like me, and by the end of the movie, she's not going, they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't like me. She's just going like, alright guys, alright. And I just think that the message was completely undercut by the tropes that they kept laying out, to the point where it's like, we get it. You're a romantic comedy. And it doesn't feel like it does anything original. Even towards the end of the movie, it doesn't feel like it's done anything original whatsoever. But the only good thing I say about this movie is like, good, it's less than an hour and a half long. Good. So I'll say that Isn't It Romantic? I don't want to touch it with a long pole. Have you seen Isn't It Romantic? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, become one of the Platypus, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Well done, you made it to the end of the video. Why don't you click on one of these two videos for more content, or subscribe, so just be reminded of when I upload, so you know, subscribe. That'd be great.